In a world chasing taller SUVs, longer wheelbases and even more screens, what happens when a car decides to go the other way? Meet the Volvo EX30. It's compact, it's clever, and might just be the smartest luxury EV we have seen. Because maybe small really is the new big. And if small really is the new big, the EX30 wastes no time proving it. It's compact and yes, it's the smallest Volvo ever, but it proudly carries the family DNA. You'll spot it right away in the pixelated Thor's Hammer DRLs and those signature vertical tail lamps which are now split but unmistakably Volvo. Adding to the style are the frameless ORVMs which give the car a sleek and modern look. The 19-inch wheels don't just look sharp but they are also aerodynamically designed. Again, typical Volvo attention to detail. Now in terms of numbers, the EX30 measures 4.23 meters in length. That's almost identical to what the Creta Electric offers. And the wheelbase 2650 mm, very much in line with India's popular mid-size SUVs. So while the EX30 might look small on paper, out on the road it doesn't feel out of place at all. Step inside the Volvo EX30 and the first thing you will notice is the minimalism. Now we have seen a similar approach in the recently launched Tesla Model Y, but here the way Volvo has done it, it feels a bit more polished. That's because you still get a few essential physical buttons here on the center console, and the way the dashboard has been laid out, it feels much more elegant. Also, the dashboard is made out of recycled and natural materials, and it overall adds to the sustainable luxury appeal of the car. Look closer and you'll spot some really clever storage touches. There's a sliding bin under the center console with integrated cup holders and a lower compartment with USB ports for added practicality. You also get angled wireless chargers for two phones so you can glance at them easily. And while the minimalist look might suggest the absence of a glove box, Volvo simply moved it to the center between the front seats. Now the EX30 is a compact car, but that also means that the rear bench can feel a bit cramped. Now the light colored upholstery and the glass roof feels that it's really airy, but the real problem here is with the under thigh support. The seats here, they are quite short and they are low placed, not giving you enough support to place your legs. Yes, you can tuck in your feet under the driver's seat, but there's still not enough space for your legs to rest. Having said that, there are quite a few storage spaces here for the rear occupants. Some are on both the sides under the door pads, and second one here is the center console storage, a basket type of a thing which can be removed. It also has some really quirky graphics on it, and this can again be placed back in the center console. One miss here in the EX30's cabin is a foldable armrest which could have been included to give more storage space. Even the boot is smartly thought out. It offers 318 liters of space, has a height adjustable floor and folds down flat to load bulky items. And if that's not enough, there's also a 7-liter frunk. And on the inside of the tailgate, Volvo has also added some quirky diagrams listing the number of things that can be stored in the boot. Quite a neat touch. Like most modern EVs, the EX30 leans heavily on tech, but in a very Volvo way. There's a single 12.3-inch vertically mounted touchscreen in typical Volvo fashion, and it handles everything from navigation and music to climate controls and most of the vehicle settings. It runs on Google's built-in OS, so you can get Google Maps, Assistant and the Play Store with no phone pairing needed. Now in the name of minimalism, there is no instrument cluster at all. All your drive info is actually integrated in the central screen itself. Personally, I find it a bit distracting because you need to take your eyes off the road to take a glance at it. And speaking of odd features, the ORVM adjustments are a bit quirky too. You access them through the infotainment system and then you adjust them using the steering controls. It's not the most intuitive setup and it's definitely something you'll need to get used to. And the unconventional choices don't stop there. There are no speakers on the door pads, instead, you get a Harman Kardon soundbar that stretches across the dashboard. It's space saving and pretty slick. Even the power window switches are placed in the center console. Shared by both rows, smart packaging, yes, but it does take some getting used to. And finally, there's a full-size glass roof. It stretches almost edge to edge, bringing in loads of natural light and giving the cabin a far more airy feel than you would expect in a car this size. Now let's get to the numbers. The EX30 India spec gets a 69 kWh battery pack with a rear mounted motor. This one produces 272 bhp and 343 Newton meters of peak torque. 0 to 100 is claimed to achieve in 5.3 seconds. Now, why am I in a rush to tell you all these numbers? Because I'm more interested in this. And this for a moment makes you forget the ballistic 400 bhp C40 recharge that is the elder cousin of the EX30. Because let's be honest, the 272 bhp motor of the EX30 is more than enough for our Indian road conditions. And this one, as globally, is the long range version. You also get two different versions of the EX30 globally. One is the smaller 51 kWh battery pack and the second one is a 69 kWh battery pack with all-wheel drive. That one has dual motors, but I think Volvo is really smart in choosing the rear-wheel drive extended range for the Indian market because it gets the maximum amount of range. The WLTP claimed range of the Volvo EX30 is 480 kilometers on a single charge, and this number is bound to go up when it will be tested by Arrive for Indian road conditions. And as far as Volvo goes in terms of real world range, we have tested the C40 recharge before and it is quite accurate and it is expected to return almost the same number or about 80 to 85% of the claimed range. Now let's say the insulation, like any other Volvo, even in the EX30, is brilliant. There's barely any noise that creeps in. Now let me show you an example. We are doing currently 75 kilometers per hour and there's load of wind noise, traffic noise, but as soon as you roll up the window, it's quiet. It's quiet and you can actually enjoy that quietness, or even your music, for example, because this one gets a 9-speaker music system. Secondly, unlike any drive modes, you actually get 3 steering modes. First one is soft, second one that we are driving right now is medium, and third one is called firm. Basically, this alters the heft or the weight that you feel in the steering wheel, and that is quite evident in each of the mode that you select. And coming to the region modes, like most of the cars have 1 to 4 region mode, Volvo has just 2. One is the standard mode and second one is the one pedal drive, which is quite effective, especially when you are running low on battery and want to extract the most range in, let's say, traffic conditions or while actually searching for a charging point. Now coming to the ride quality, the EX30, like all other Volvos, is also assembled in India. That means Volvo has been able to tweak the suspension suiting to the Indian road conditions, and despite the 19-inch alloy wheels, the ride quality is actually spot on. We have encountered quite rough patches in Jaipur, and let me tell you, the suspension does a great job in absorbing all those bumps. Now let it be those square patches or uneven roads, that is something which you can't really feel inside the cabin, and the suspension absorb it quite nicely. Even when you're doing high speeds on the highways, the ride is quite pliant. You don't have any rear that actually bounces. It's just one and it settles down to a nice and pliant ride. The ground clearance, as Volvo claims, is 171 mm for the EX30, which is more than enough for Indian road conditions. And till now, we have not scraped the underbelly of the EX30 even once in all the speed breakers. In fact, a variety of speed breakers that we have encountered in Jaipur. So yeah, that's also a great point. Overall, the ride quality, the steering, the power, Volvo has been able to nail it quite accurately. Now the nearest rival of the Volvo EX30 is the BYD Atto 3. The Volvo EX30 isn't trying to be your next big SUV, and that's exactly the point because it's compact, it's clever, and it brings a fresh perspective to what a luxury EV can be. Yes, it's not the most spacious, and the minimalism might take a little to get used to, but it more than that makes up for it with its thoughtfully designed cabin, strong range, great refinement, and tech that's genuinely usable. Now we don't have the prices of the EX30 yet because Volvo will announce it sometime in September. But if Volvo gets this one right, let's say around 40 lakh rupees ex-showroom, then the EX30 has the real potential to disrupt not just the EV market but also in the way we think about premium mobility. And maybe in that sense, small isn't just enough, it might actually be better.